to the pop culture cosmos.
And we're back. Man, I just cannot escape that first initial feedback thing. And we're back, no matter how light I do it. It's the pop culture cosmos. It's Gerald Glassford, angry here now because Josh brought something to my attention. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for joining us. We enjoy having you here, not enjoy our work being stolen. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford via Pop Culture Cosmos, Game Source, Inside Sports, Fantasy Football, the Lakers' latest, my newest channel, working with the Fan Arc Network, and of course, also as well, the Lakers Fast Break. Truly glad to have you here, looking at us, watching us, listening to us, and also the radio stations worldwide that play us. Cannot thank you enough for supporting us all these years. We're closing in on the big 500, and it's all because of you guys out there that listen to us each and every week right here at the Pop Culture Cosmos. But it wouldn't be a Pop Culture Cosmos without my good friend. Indeed, he is the mastermind behind Humanica Media, which we just found out had some stuff that was stolen from it. Thieves indeed. Also, as well, want to go ahead and make sure you get, of course, the Happy Hoarder and so much more. It is my good friend. It is Josh the Great Peterson. What's up, man? But I already know what's up.
Just dealing with these pirates, man. I'm telling you.
Well, the reason why we're so upset is that Josh just brought to my attention, because we run YouTube channels, and they, if somebody else is borrowing your work, YouTube lets you know. And Josh just informed me that which E3 was this?
E3 2017.
Oh God. Yeah, so we went to E3 2017, back when E3 was a thing, which I still wish was a thing. And we had a great time, covered a lot of games. One of them was NASCAR Heat 2, I believe. Is that correct?
That's right. That's the one.
Got some footage from there. And I just found out from Josh that somebody has decided to procure it, and he's been, I guess, showcasing it for quite some time. How many views on his channel?
43,000. No, it's 143,000 views.
God makes me ill. All right. Yeah. Thanks for ripping us off. Truly appreciate it. Love to tell you in person, but I would probably be arrested shortly thereafter. So,
yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. With that said, hopefully we have the integrity to go here and not steal other people's work. Now, we might show footage of games or whatnot, but just those other shows do that. So, yeah, but that's different than what you. This was just without our permission, blatantly ripped us off from, that stuff. But
yeah, the nerve, man, the nerve.
That's something that's going to hit me again when I'm driving home around 4 or 5 o'clock today, and I'm just going to be going like, man, this son of a gun.
Just think about all the money he's probably made off of us.
Yes.
Lazy journalism is what that is.
Plagiarism, and it's a form of plagiarism. Yeah, absolutely
right.
I mean, we could go take them to what, because it's still probably under $1,000. It is under $1,000 for 143,000. So we could take them to small claims court.
Yes,
and we'd probably win too.
We could, yeah.
But we'd have to do it in California because it's you were in California at the time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how that works. I don't know if it's based on like where his YouTube channel is located or where he's located. I don't know.
Yeah. What's his YouTube channel, by the way? I know you'll be giving him another view, but so you can leave a nasty comment there. Leave us nice comments, but leave him a nasty comment. Like you meanie greenie, you.
It is real Radman, all one word.
Absolutely. Real Radman. Okay, Real Radman. I'm going to type this down. I'm going to leave a nice worded letter for him. Um, yeah, there you go. Okay, I'm gonna leave that right there for you. So it is, of course, the pop culture cosmos, the real place for NASCAR Heat 2 E23 3 set 20 footage. It is Josh Peterson along with myself, Gerald Glasser. Thanks again for watching us. We truly appreciate it. We're gonna get back on track here. We always have a great time with you right here at the Pop Culture Cosmos. A lot of things to go ahead and cover on today's show. Have you been catching anything lately before we get into it, my friend?
No. I've had a weird hankering to go watch my Big Fat Greek Wedding again because someone was talking to me about like their extended Greek family, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to go watch the movie again. Anyways, I do have a question for you though.
Yes.
I've been seeing a lot of comments coming out of the Grammys, and I don't know if we've talked about this before, but do you think that these celebrity award shows have become incredibly disconnected from reality?
I think on occasion it does. Yeah, I don't think it's sometimes it does. It's just hard. You're living, it's a different world. I mean, when I worked in the industry, it is a look they do see things differently. As far as it's concerned. I mean, to some of people, it's just you stay grounded. But I did meet and interact with some people in the industry that just again they weren't akin to everyday life and everyday things. It's not their fault. It's just you work in an industry that's kind of detached from much of the rest of the world. It is like that. So I know last night when I watched the Grammys as well, it's again some of the points that they're trying to make, and obviously it does get political at times, and it does get pointed, and some of it's justified, and some of it's if not, as far as it's concerned. So but yeah, I think, like you said, it's so hard for someone to get across something to the average American when they're wearing a Versace dress.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the politics aside, I'm talking more about like, yeah, the just the lifestyle that these people live and how like we pay for it. It's
Yes.
just there's what you're looking for is humility, but you don't really like see a lot of that at these award shows.
Yeah, Bad Bunny, I mean, I think was kind of humble when he accepted his
Oh,
award as
for
far as
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
he was very grateful. He did hit saying stuff that I know that a lot of people are going to take out of context or take out of what he said or whatnot. But I thought him winning before he made those statements was he seemed very humble. Just the way he mannered himself, positioned himself, and obviously English is a second language to him. I thought it was, it is what it is, but people are going to extrapolate the political stuff that he said
Oh, for
instead of the
sure.
fact that he was very grateful for winning.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I honestly, man, like I don't understand that whole controversy thing. I thought Bad Bunny was really funny, and I'd never listened to his music, but I thought Happy Gilmore too was
Oh,
like
he was the best thing about Happy Gilmore
it's the
too.
best thing about that. Yeah. I mean, I
I love his walk.
yeah. Yeah. I like when he sent his little cousin out there and they're pelting them with golf balls. Like that was probably one of the
Yeah.
funniest things.
Yes. I get. I just. I I understand why the NFL is doing it. I understand why there's a big controversy around it, but you got to understand that the NFL is trying to reach a different audience here. It's just it's money, it's pure and simple. It's business. They've already got people our age
Yeah.
coming this Sunday watching the game. It's they're trying to attract to a audience that they may have not fully tapped into, and that's what businesses do. Once they feel that they've got you, they're going to go they're going to keep you, and they're going to go after someone else. That's
Yeah.
the reason why Bad Bunny is there on Sunday.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I honestly like I think that a lot of the stuff out there is becoming political because people are making it political. And I think that
Exactly.
we need to just like, yeah, what award shows, sports, whatever. I think we need to just politicians need to leave entertainment alone and vice versa.
Well, funny you should mention that, my friend, because I don't like to get political on this show at all, but I think we're going to have to go there
Uh-oh.
because this weekend at the box office, it went there as far as that's concerned. But I do want to go ahead and cover the box office first because It was interesting weekend at the box office. Hopefully, a better weekend than this time last year. That's what I'm hoping for. First off, so far, most weeks outside of last week with the bomb cyclone here in the States, it's been a better year, better start off. So that's the positive side. But for this past weekend, interesting way things that went down. Send Help from Sam Raimi. Back to making what lower budgeted or more centralized horror movies with some tinge of his humor, his dark humor into it. Your thoughts on Send Help with Rachel McAdams, who just got a star on the Walk of Fame? Great for her. Congratulations. She deserves it, and really a good performance for Send Help.
Yeah, I've been really curious about that movie. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to watch it. It was one I plan to watch when it comes out. But yeah, it seeing Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams and just watching the premise of the movie, because if you watch the trailer, it goes from 0 to 50 like really fast, and it just completely flips like what kind of movie you think it's going to end up being. So yeah, I definitely am looking forward to seeing this one. It looks like it's gonna be good. I still don't know what genre to classify this movie into, but I'm excited to watch it.
Then you have Iron Lung. Okay. You know what? If we make a video game, if we get together and say, Josh, we're going to fight back against Real Radman, and we're going to go ahead and make a game he can't pirate. And so we're going to make our own video game. We have to make a low budget indie horror game, because you know what? The money seems to pour out of those games if you do it well enough. And it looks like Iron Lung with Markiplier is the director of, adapting it from the indie horror game, has seemingly done a great job. I mean, for an indie horror movie, 17.8 million for a movie that got relatively little advertising budget. That's a great start for that kind of movie. I understand it may not have the legs, but still, it's the type of thing that Hollywood takes notice on, and it's another video game adaptation that we didn't think we needed, but obviously some people wanted.
Yeah, I actually don't know anything about this movie, so I'm gonna have to check this out.
Yeah, again, this one of the video game adaptations I wasn't aware of, so absolutely. So yeah, I think it's from a 2022 indie horror game, and yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Iron.
so sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I gotta get this
You're all
thought out real quick. Speaking of that, there are two things. Like, one, I've been debating watching Until Dawn because it's been popping up on I think it's on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been debating. I'm like, I just can't bring myself to do it. And two, like, what in the world happened to Return to Silent Hill? Like, that everyone was so excited about that movie, and then all of a sudden it just comes out and goes away, and you're like, what?
It got terrible reviews. Absolutely terrible reviews, and it seemed like nobody cared when it came out. And to give you an idea how bad it did, let me look at the box office chart. It dropped 70%, which is a normal horror drop, but yeah, 70% in its second weekend. It won't even break $10 million. It's probably, I don't know what the budget is on it, but yeah, it's probably not a good sign, Josh.
I'm like, because of this, so I'm so curious. I kind of want to go see it because I want to know why.
Well, it'll be in your home really quickly because it's already out of the top 10.
Your wish may be granted sooner than you think.
Yes, absolutely. So before we get into the number 3 spot, which I think we need to have a discussion on, number 4 was Zootopia 2, actually gaining 10% from the previous weekend. That sucker is going strong, and I think it will take over the 2025 domestic charts. And it's, of course, been a big, huge hit for Disney. Shelter with Jason Statham, only because he comes out around this time with a Jason Statham action flick, whether it's The Beekeeper or whatnot. He actually always seems to do well in January or February when he brings out a movie like this, and unfortunately that wasn't the case this time around, as it ties with Avatar Fire and Ash for 5th place, or just above Avatar Fire and Ash for 5th place. and the box office charts. Then you got Mercy dropping close to 60% in seventh. The Housemaid only dropping 11%. That's been a great success story for Paul Feig. That's, I think, over worldwide, it is now over $250 million worldwide. So it's a big win for Paul Feig and Sydney Sweeney, like we talked about, I think, on last week's show. Marty Supreme is 17% down. I think we're just all waiting for it to break 100 million, and it might just break 100 million here domestically. But I think we're just all waiting for Timothée Chalamet to get the Oscar award for that. But the big disappointment, I think, from this week in the top 10 is 28 years later, The Bone Temple, which does not look like it will break $30 million domestically here. And it's the funny thing is it's gotten really reviewed well. Josh, it's one of the best review movies of the year so far, and it just found no love. Is this from the, I guess, very, I don't know if I didn't realize it was that divisive as far as the 28 years later when that came out, but sometimes you want movies, a sequel to a third movie to come out right after or the other movie. You want to keep it fresh in people's minds, and as far as that's concerned. But obviously, that wasn't the case here.
So okay, so this is one of those movies where how do people even know that it came out? Like I drove by Cinemark one day. I'm like, oh, there it is. I've been paying attention because I like these movies, but I don't think a lot of people know that this movie came out. Because the 28 years later just came out like a couple months ago. So I think a lot of people, one, they didn't know it came out, and there's probably a little lack of marketing. And then two, I really don't know. I think The Bone Temple is a very artsy movie. I haven't watched it yet. I want to, but I probably have to wait till this one comes out on streaming platforms. But yeah, I don't know. It's I think they've moved away from the zombie genre and have kind of moved more into like an art house direction. So maybe people are like, I don't know if I want to spend money on this in the theater. I'm gonna wait till it hits streaming platforms. But yeah, it's got a budget of 63 million. It's only made 54 million worldwide. So I'm not sure if we're gonna end up seeing the third and final piece of this trilogy.
It all depends on how much has gotten as far as how far they've gotten into production of it. Yeah, Sony will it greenlight it. Now, 28 years later, it has done well on Netflix. So I don't know. It's kind of weird how that plays itself out. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and mention that. But let's get back to what was number 3 on the charts. I was trying to avoid the conversation as long as I can, but you know what? Again, you cannot deny that that conversation, because Melania came out at number 3, one of the most divisive films literally in years, my friend. I'll let you go ahead. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, I really don't know. Okay, so here I got a very like psychological statement to say here. All right. I don't know much about Melania Trump, so I can't really like talk to what kind of person she is, but I think that when things like this come out, right, you have two different waves of thought from people that go to see them. One is they're seeing it as a political statement, right? They're seeing it because like, oh, I worship the ground that my political opinion walks on. And then the other people are like, I'm gonna go see this movie to completely trash this movie because I want to make a political statement. So I think at the end of the day, I don't think anybody really is going to be able to tell anybody like if this is a movie worth watching or not.
And that's the thing I wanted to go ahead and say, because if you go to Metacritic, it's got a 7. It's got one of the worst scores ever on Metacritic. And I don't know how much of that is biased or if it's not biased. And again, I'm not political. I don't try to be political. I'm not even affiliated with a political party. So I'm just, and from a business standpoint, I'm looking at it from a documentary, because we have a good friend, Rob McCallum, who makes documentaries. It's one of the biggest openings ever on the good side for business for that movie. On the good side, it's one of the biggest openings ever for a documentary. On the bad side, it opened at 7 million, roughly 7 million. with, again, very divisive depending on where you were located in the United States.
Yeah.
Certain areas that was empty, certain areas was full. And I'll just leave it at that because I was looking around social media and I saw empty theaters. I saw full theaters.
Yeah.
Which is, indicative of the times we are now living in.
Yeah.
But for Jeff Bezos, who financed the film, it's not really about money. It wasn't really about money. Let's just be plain and simple. It wasn't really about money. It's just about getting this out there. They paid Melania's RDJ money because it was reported that she's getting $25 to $28 million for this. So right there, you're losing money on the film. So making money on this film and making a profit was never about that, Josh. It's clear because the movie costs about $75 million after advertising fees and whatnot. So it was never about making money for this film at
Oh.
this point. So that's probably the best thing I can say as far as it's concerned.
What is this movie even about? Like, is she really like that interesting of a person? Like,
I guess it's the 2 weeks leading up to the inauguration is what it is. It's just to look supposedly behind the scenes of her inauguration. Although Michelle Obama says thank you because if you take a look at Netflix's top 10, her biography Becoming has shot up to the top 10.
oh, nice.
To tell you where we are as political. So
I'm gonna make a prediction right now, right? And we can revisit this prediction, at some point, I'm sure. But because here's the thing, like I think that, okay, I think that once Trump is done being president, maybe 4 years from now, somebody's going to put out a documentary about Donald Trump, and I think that it's probably going to do pretty well because that's a story that like a lot of people are going to have a lot of thoughts on, and we're going to see a similar situation, but probably with more money circulating.
Yeah, and it probably will, but will it be? See, I would probably say it would probably be okay if you were totally unbiased. You probably do those type of things. You look at it from a lens 10, 20 years in the future, and you look at it. You look at it when you get some more distance for maybe better clarity. But someone's going to do it, like you said, not long after, and then it's just to reap the financial rewards. But I'll just say this when it comes to the Melania documentary. You and I are avid video game fans, are we not?
Yeah.
You and I said I said specifically, and I think you agreed with me that we would support video game, I guess, formats as far as video game adaptations whenever we possibly could when it hits TV or theaters, especially like when it concerns stuff that we like, Mass Effect, Fallout, things like that. Correct? It was okay. So there's, if I'm sitting there and I'm a Republican or a stout Republican or a stout Trump follower, and I'm watching that movie, and the movie is actually not that good. Let's just say, okay, I don't know how, again, those Metacritic scores, how real or how much you can weigh it up. Let's just say it is actually a 7 out of 100 movie from Metacritic, and you're watching that. I bet they would have the same feeling sitting there squirming in their chair that you and I had watching Halo for 1.5 seasons.
But they'd still come out saying like, "Oh, this was a flippin' fantastic movie."
Well, okay, that's the difference. We didn't say that about Halo, except for one episode. Yeah, because my love for video games, my love for the Halo series, your love for the Halo series had us sitting through an entire season, 2 seasons, and just for the most of it, just squirming in our chair the whole time on how bad it was. And again, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it, but if you don't see it. No worries. It's again, it is just a sign of the times on how divisive it is. But business wise, again, it was never about making money for this film because Bezos, obviously, when you knowingly put out and spend this kind of money for this type of project, it's not going to reap you financial rewards. As far as
it's and we learned about this in journalism, right? Just like how how the big companies use the media to manipulate people. So, like you said, Jeff Bezos, I don't think his intentions were like to make money putting this out. I think there's something else,
Absolutely. So it is what it is for the box office. Just wanted to go ahead and make mention of that again. If you want to go see it, if you have good things to say about it, let us know in the comments. If you don't, could put it out there too. But we're trying to be as unbiased look at it as possible. So don't add us, don't hate us. We're just trying to report what's going on with the news. Please let us know your thoughts. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. We know it's a very divisive issue, but trust me, I've seen all the social media. I saw packed houses and I saw empty houses. I saw people tearing down the movie posters, and stuff. I saw the whole gambit of stuff that went on this past weekend. Again, if regarding what was said at the Grammys, what was Melania. Again, if you have stuff on that's pop culture related and not political related, please let us know. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. But before we head to the break, my friend, one last thing I wanted to go ahead and touch on before we head to the break. And that was Wonderman. I don't know if you've seen Wonderman from Marvel, as far as the latest Marvel series to drop. All eight episodes dropped on Disney Plus this week. But I did want to mention it's actually good. It's actually okay. I didn't love it as much as some other people did, but I do love the chemistry between Yaya and, of course, Ben Kingsley. So I recommend it. I do recommend it. I think it's one of the better series in the Marvel mix. It's not great. It's not perfect, but I think it's a watch for most of it.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it. I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it, but I've heard, like I said, I've heard good things. So maybe I'll sit down and check it out at some point. I know so I was reading something that said like this, and I forget what the other one was, are probably like two of the things that have the biggest repercussions in the MCU out of everything that's come out in like the past 5 or 6 years.
It kind of does. Yeah. But again, the way they structured, the reason why this movie works is the bro fist, my friend, is because the acting in it from all parties concerned is really good. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is great as Simon Williams, and Ben Kingsley is stealing every scene that he's in. These two, when they interact, and the movie knows, the series knows where its best attributes lie and just puts it on those two to carry the show for him. Because when it goes to the plot or anything else like that, it deviates. It's not that good, to be quite honest with you. There's a whole episode that doesn't have them in it.
Yeah.
And it's basically something you could have told in a 5-minute flashback, and you didn't. And made it into a full episode, which totally throws everything off as far as the pacing. And yeah, that was unnecessary. There's some explainers that they don't explain, like how did he get his powers? How did he get his powers so strong? How did it come to be? As far as it's concerned, how did he get control of his powers so greatly at a certain point in time in the series? They don't explain some of that, which again is difficult to go ahead and ascertain at times. But again, when it leans on Ben Kingsley and Yahya to just go over the bit of acting, just talking about the behind the scenes of Hollywood and just going into the acting bit part of it.
Yeah.
It's some really good stuff. Those two really were. You have two very, very high level actors. Of course, Ben Kingsley, as a Oscar winning actor. It works. It works, and it works well because of those two.
He's Trevor Slattery in this one again, right?
The Mandarin, yes.
Yes,
Mandarin.
I love that.
Yes, and that gets repeated and mentioned frequently throughout the series. So again, it's callbacks and whatnot, but again, outside of the pacing and the logic issues, it works. It works as a series, and it works as a bro fest, my friend. And I do recommend it. It's one of the better Marvel series that they produced, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sold. I just got to find the time to sit down and do it.
It's also cool when I see all the places that I used to either drive by, I visited, or I worked near when I was in Hollywood. Yeah, then they drive by. It's always a good reminder of what I was once into. So, again, it is Wonderman. It is available right now on Disney Plus. The 8 episode series, season 1, or is it a final season? I don't know if it's. Disney hasn't said anything yet. So, the 8 episodes are there. Go ahead and check it out today. It is, of course, Wonder Man. If you have thoughts on Wonder Man, please let us know. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Well, once again, it is Josh the Great Peterson, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Still peeved about being ripped off by Rio Radman. Good to Rio Radman.
Yeah.
But again, there's some other good stuff going on in the world of entertainment. I guess the first cable talking point in a while, my friend, Beauty on FX. I know it's really trying hard to be in the vein of The Substance, which I think takes away from whatever you think about beauty. But it's Ashton Kutcher, the designer of a drug that supposedly can change how you look. And of course, just like The Substance, some side effects and all that. But it goes into more of a commercial aspect of it as well. Your thoughts, my friend, because it's not just the fact that beauty seems to be the first high profile thing on cable of any kind in a while. It just seems to be like it's on a medium that is slowly dying, and no one's woken up to tell them yet.
Yeah, I feel like this story. I mean, it looks fascinating, but I feel like it's just been done before. Like it feels like it's a knockoff of what's that movie, The Substance, but also like that movie that's on Netflix is based on that young adult novel, The Uglies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I feel like this is a story that's kind of been beaten to death, but they're kind of doing a more like adult version of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true, but it's going to be really. I have not seen it yet, so I cannot make any assertions on how good or bad it is. I know the reviews are okay for it, but Demi Moore killed it in The Substance, and Dennis Quaid was in it as too. He was really good. That movie is just so good. It was just putting it on another level. Because it was also a indictment of the 1980s and that culture and things of that nature, as far as the look and feel and whatnot. And yeah, it just was resonated as a horror movie on so many levels. And Beauty, because of its cable restrictions, we talked about this. I talked about this in my worst of 2025. These cable companies can go farther than broadcast, but they can't go a whole lot farther, and they just don't go far enough as what you see on straight to streaming shows. So
Yeah.
again, it goes and it goes a distance, but it doesn't quite get to where I think that I want it to be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, that's Beauty on FX. If you want to go ahead and catch it, I thought I'd mention that. Another thing that we have not talked about, I don't know if you've watched it on HBOMax. It's called Primal. It's in season 3, animated series. The reason why I wanted to mention it to you, it's gotten some really, really strong reviews. It's on also Adult Swim as well, as far as categorizing, I guess, the beasts, almost like if Primal Rage became a show in and of itself. But I don't know if you've caught it. The reason why is just that's something we haven't even talked about before at any length. And guess what? It's been already in season 3.
Yeah, I've seen like advertisements for it, but I haven't actually watched it. So, lay the premise down for me. What is it?
It's again, like I said, it deals with beasts as far as again, primal. Like, if you remember the Primal Rage type deal, that's that video game that deals with those type of beasts and whatnot. Let me go ahead and I'm going to get you the as far as the synopsis of it real quick here, but Primal is a TV series It's set in an if I can say that right, anachronistic vision of prehistory, portraying extinct dinosaurs, prehistoric creatures of the Cenozoic era, early hominids, and post metallurgy Homo sapiens, all coexisting in a single time period, but incorporates many elements of sci-fi, fantasy, horror, action, and adventure. So basically, it deals with a time period well before our own, and I guess combines a lot of elements that really make it interesting. But I've seen some footage now, setting up for a conversation. It looks like something I may have to go ahead and binge at some point in time down the line.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have never like looked too much into it, so I'll probably do the same.
And an IGN review of 10 for a recent episode doesn't hurt matters either. So again, I know that we always take IGN sometimes with a grain of salt, but they sometimes really do point out things that we do need to see. So if you have thoughts on Primal, yeah, let us know. We'd love to hear from you, because I do plan to catch up on it as soon as I'm able to, and want to go ahead and hear your thoughts. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Well, my friend, there's still much more to talk about on today's show. It is, of course, Josh the Great Peterson, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciated. Josh, there's also something we didn't cover over the holiday season. I wanted to go ahead and catch up on. I know we're in February, a little bit late behind, but I also wanted to talk to you about Arcade1up, which...
Oh, we're always revisiting this topic. What they put out this time?
Well, not exactly put up. It's like they kind of put out there. I mean, they still have a company that comes out there, but part of their assets were bought up by a fellow arcade company, as far as it's concerned. So obviously it's catching up as far as their future is concerned. So their future is in a little bit of doubt. I understand that they're still around as far as toy fairs and things of that nature. So they still have products that they're trying to release out there. But your thoughts, my friend, on Arcade1up, because I know we went into this before in previous years, but they have come up on the little bit harder times, and again, sold part of their assets to another company. Your thoughts, my friend, on what might be the future, and it might not be a good future for Arcade1up.
Okay, so this kind of gets me into a topic that I don't know if okay, I'm going to talk about it anyways. All right, emulation, right? I know we've been back and forth on the legalities of emulation. We talked about like the gray area, right? And there's not really any like legal precedent for emulation as of right now, right? Unless you're blatantly ripping off Nintendo and shoving it in their face. But you have all these companies though outside of Arcade1up, and they have these arcades that it's all emulation, right? Like you can buy for $1,200. Like I can go into Google and put in, hey, arcade machine, and find, a whole page, several pages of companies that build full-size cabinets and they come with like 200 to 300 games on them
or more.
So you look at that and you're like, so why am I going to pay $400 to $500, sometimes $600, right, for Arcade1up? Why am I going to pay that much when I could just go pay this much and have all these games that I actually want and not have to put them on a cabinet myself?
I have an emulation hard drive. I've told you about before. It has tens of thousands of games on it because it's 12 terabytes. So it's I scroll through it and I play games from it. It's amazing. I do have an Arcade1up I bought years ago. But I did not spend. This was before the rate hikes. This was when Arcade1up first came out, and they were under $300, under, in some cases under $200, and a really decent value for people to go ahead and play at home as a family thing. But when, like you said, when they went from 200 to 300 to 500 to 600 and $1,000 for the full size machines, that became ridiculous for only playing 4 or 5 games, which is just not going to do it or cut it. And then they went into the direction of claw machines, He went in the direction of games that you get at casino games, and they kept trying to regurgitate the same IPs that they've used and reused and used and reused in trying to tweak it in slightly different versions of the same thing, trying to get these people who have bought 4 or 5, 6 or 7 cabinets to buy the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm just seeing myself and just going, man, you see the pathway to success for this company, and they're not choosing to go ahead follow it. And maybe it's not by choice, and I'm certainly pretty sure certain it's not by choice, but the easy pathway was to make a deal with Nintendo. Again, whatever percentage deal that you needed to make with Nintendo, I would have made it. To put a life-size Donkey Kong, a life-size Mario, a life-size Zelda, a life-size Pokemon arcade type machine, or Mario Brothers from the past, or all the famous hits from Nintendo, to put that out there in that format, never was done during this entire time. I've said it several times, and it just, again, I'm assuming Nintendo didn't want to license it out, but it seemed like a natural that would have been.
Yeah, but also like there's a whole I mean, look at every single game that like was around in the 90s, right? Or late 80s. Like there you could have made arcades based on any of that stuff. Like a lot of the there's some Atari is kind of a crap hole on the best of days, but like there's some good stuff on the Atari that is all what do you call it? The domains are dead on them. So I mean, they could have easily scooped up a lot of that stuff, or going into Sega. I mean, Sega doesn't make stuff anymore, and I'm sure they don't make consoles, and they always want to reprint old stuff. So you could have done like a Sonic the Hedgehog cabinet, or a what we call like a Vector Man cabinet, or something, or literally anything like that, and it would have probably people would have picked it up. But they're only putting out really obscure properties. I think the most popular thing they had on the Arcade1up was the NBA Jam, and they were charging a butt ton of money for it. So at that NBA Jam, I walked into Best Buy, and it was $600. $600, like
for a basic monitor, a little electronic thing that plays the game, and plastic and particle board, which you could get, for like under $50 at wherever where your local hardware store.
Yeah, you could build one at your house for less money than that.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And that, I mean, they did themselves in. Again, you priced yourself absolutely out of the market, and in doing so, they have sealed their own fate. Now, Basic Fun, which is a competitor of theirs, has decided to buy into Arcade1up. So we'll see what the lifespan of Arcade1up is. They're still out there in retailers, but if you go there, you'll see regurgitations of the same thing. Like, how many Pac-Man versions do you need? How many Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat versions do you need? I mean, there's been like reiteration after reiteration, and we're talking about something that's only about 10 years old. As far as they're concerned. So that it's
I was going to say, so here's the difference between Arcade1up and a company like At Games, right? At Games, they put up they put like updated cabinets out every year, right? Both pinball machines and the actual arcade. The difference is you're paying, it costs less money than an Arcade1up. It's a full-size cabinet, and they actually have USB slots. They don't promote downloading ROMs and emulation, but it's there. You can do it if you want to. Arcade1up doesn't have any any way to do that on there. You have to go out and buy all the pieces to do it yourself. Whereas with At Games, you just put it onto a USB drive and boop, pop it right in.
Yep. And again, it just comes down to it. If you wanted to stick to it, you should have kept it at a price point people can afford, that will buy en masse, and go for the IPs that people really want. Again, I would have just welcomed the idea of seeing a whole bunch of line of Nintendo products year in, year out that would have sold quite well for them. But again, they didn't want to sell their soul to Nintendo, or Nintendo. I find it hard for Nintendo to fully say no on it, because the fact that they put themselves out there and merchandise themselves out there to many different things. I'm just surprised that Nintendo didn't put out one themselves, or hasn't put out one themselves, as far
Yeah.
as they line up arcade units.
Yeah, so I also know Nintendo is very protective of their IPs. Like Funko has been turned down several times for Nintendo Pops, and um, a lot of action figure companies. I forget that. So there's a company that just put out some Streets of Rage figures. They just got licensed for Zelda figures, and they've been on that, trying to get that for the past like 6 or 7 years. So Nintendo's very protective, but also I imagine that whole process of working with them is incredibly slow.
Just in time for the movie. There you know.
Yeah, right.
There you go. But again, that's my thoughts, and that's our thoughts. That's Josh's thoughts on Arcade1up, which was just recently purchased by Basic Fun, a competitor of theirs. Again, the future of Arcade1up is in doubt. We'll see, but it's in this industry. It's adapt or die, and I don't think Arcade1up really adapted. And 10 years ago, or actually not 10 years ago, less than that, they burst onto the scene, and everybody seemed to wanted one. I have one, but everybody seemed to have really wanted one. And all these years later, they just sit there at your local Costco, Sam's Club, or Walmart, and just gather up dust. And again, we want to hear your thoughts. What went wrong with Arcade1up? Please let us know your thoughts. PopCultureCosmos at yahoo.com. Well, my friend, I want to mark a ending of sorts for something that happened this weekend. That was the ending of the Sundance Film Festival in its original place of origin, as far as it's concerned. It will be moving, I believe, to Boulder, Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. So it is leaving the confines of Salt Lake City, Park City, Utah, Park City, Utah. And Sundance is the epitome of what independent film is, as far as it's concerned, or small films are concerned, where all these small films, all these independent films come together, a lot of which are vying and hoping to get a deal, hoping that they'll get noticed, hoping that they'll get a deal with a large movie company and distribution for therein. So, and it works out for a vast percentage of them. But I did want to highlight the one that won the top award at the Sundance Film Festival, and that's Josephine, with Gemma Chan and Channing Tatum. As far as is concerned, I don't know if have you heard anything about Josephine as of yet, my friend, because it is garnering all the news at Sundance.
Yeah, not a thing. I know. Who was the girl's name? I know she's her interview's been popping up in a lot of the news stuff lately, but I didn't realize she had worked on something new since she's the one from Star Wars, right?
Gemma Chan? No, she's the one from the Marvels. Not the Marvels. What's as far as, oh god, am I blanking on this? As far as from one of the Marvel movies, of course, it's in the series. No, the movie. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm spacing out on this, because she was the star. I can't believe she's the one that got the Eternals. God, that's how forgettable that movie.
Oh, is she Cersei from Eternals?
Cersei from.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry for some reason, because I'd seen the girl from Star Wars in a news article, and naturally my brain was like, "Oh, that's who you're talking about."
No, she's in a zombie movie that I think came out earlier in January. But Gemma Chan is in this one, along with Channing Tatum. It's getting really high marks. Just got a 10 on IGN. Again, say what you will about that. But it did earn the top award at Sundance. But it's the child in the movie that is really taking it, because the child goes, I guess, is at a park and sees a violent event, or an event that she shouldn't have seen. And the childhood trauma is how the parents deal with it. And I guess this movie is getting such rave reviews. I'm just going to say now that, file this away, my friend, but this looks like it's going to be a movie that's going to be released during the Oscar period time in November, December, whatnot. And it might be a movie that might be on the tips of many people's tongues, man, because it deals with something very uncomfortable, and it deals with it, I guess, in a way that really hits close to home.
Interesting. Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right.
just thought I wanted to mention that because again, it's the last Sundance Film Festival in Park City, Utah. They'll be moving to Boulder. So just wanted to mention that indeed. But yeah, guys, if you're out there and you're interested, I understand it's an indie film. I understand it's an art film, but if you're interested in hearing more about Josephine, let us know. Popculturecosmos@yahoo.com, and we'll hopefully keep you abreast of it. But I have a feeling that based on its early indications and the fact it's gotten glowing reviews from a lot of different sources that it's going to receive a lot of love later this year when it comes out to a mass audience. But we will wait and see on that. But before we head on out, my friend, it is time to return back into our march to Doomsday with the MCU review once again. Where are we at on as far as the MCU review with Josh Peterson?
Hold on, I can tell you. I think we were at. Hopefully, this is the right movie. We. Oh shoot. We did Thor. What was the last one we did? Was Thor, right?
Was it Thor 2?
Or Iron Man 2?
No, Iron Man 2. We did Iron Man 2 because
Okay,
we were
that's
talking
right.
about yes.
I was gonna say, okay, good.
We
'Cause I
talked
watched-
about Mickey Rourke and his
Yeah.
financial troubles.
All right, so we're at Thor. So Thor is an interesting movie. Thor was a movie everybody had been waiting for a long time. Like even before like everyone knew all these movies were connected, like there was whispers, right, of a Thor film eventually coming out and people wondering what it looked like. This one was directed by Kenneth Branagh. And he's like one of the I was curious what this movie would look like when I found out he was directing because he's a very classical director.
Yes.
And he was he's like a Pinky Up film school type of person. So he's directed like adaptations of like classic literature and things like that. So I was really curious like what Thor would look like if it have the that spin on it. And the movie, by watching it, you can tell that the director was uncomfortable with the source material. There's a lot of like the movie. So the movie itself, like I thought it was all right. It was is entertaining, right? Like it did what it needed to do. But there was it just by the way that it was made, it was trying to like switch between Shakespeare, explosions, and Marvel lore. Does that make sense?
Yes, and it didn't quite succeed. Just to be honest with you, Josh, and all that, I still don't have it very high on my list.
Like yeah, it's not good. It entertained me for sure, but it just was. I don't put it up as like a great movie.
Yes. All right. And in doing so, though, my friend, I want to ask you this: we've seen a transformation of Chris Hemsworth in that role, where he was very wooden. He was very Shakespearean, Shakespeare in the Park, as what RDJ kidded him in the Avengers. And his attitude towards the role changed quite a bit from that then to Love and Thunder, and then now back again where he's becoming more arterial, I guess, for lack of a better word, in that role once again. Your thoughts on his arc as Thor, Chris Hemsworth, because again, it seems like he's going back to where he once was with Doomsday.
Yeah, I think that they had not found the medium, like the happy medium, right? So Thor, like I liked the first one that Taika Waititi did. It wasn't Love and Thunder, was that one Ragnarok? Like I thought Ragnarok was a decent movie. I thought they totally butchered the comic book, but whatever. I did not like Love and Thunder. I thought Love and Thunder was like the whole movie was just stupid. Like it was just jokes the entire time. There's no meaningful source material to be found in that movie at all. I think they took it a little bit too far. Then with Thor 2 though, on the other hand, was too far across the other side of the spectrum. Does that make sense? Like it was
Yeah.
too broody. Thor was like a toddler trying to kind of figure out who they were. So I think that in Thor in Endgame for sure though, I was like peak Thor to me. Like that was the Thor from the comic books. That was the Thor I was looking for, right? Like in Infinity War and Endgame, like there was equal parts like jokes and seriousness. Like I thought that the Infinity War and Endgame Thor was like the perfect version of Thor. So I'm wondering if I think that that's I'm wondering and hoping that that's what we're going to get in Doomsday.
I agree, because it seemed it was a wide range of acting that he was able to perform, from the sadness to what we saw as far as the after effects of how he failed to react in time, and failed to react by going for the head, and then how it affected him. And then we saw the transformation during that film of to what he was by the end of that film. And then we still saw the comedic side, which a lot of people, like myself, uh, like to have seen from him as well. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that he has seen a Drake transformation. I'm worried though in Doomsday he will go back too far back to that other way and get too serious for what's needed.
Yeah, I mean, and let's hope not, but I think they've learned enough lessons. I honestly I think that everyone's like Taika Waititi's doing other things instead of another Thor movie, but I think that they just didn't they saw what happened with Thor's character and how far he went. I think that they just were like, no, we're good.
I hope so. I hope so, my friend. But again, we will wait and see. Overall, for a movie, though, Thor was kind of disappointing, but it did bring us our first look at Thor and also Hawkeye as well.
Yeah. Wait, Hawkeye is back in
No, in the
Doom?
original Thor.
Oh, yes, yeah. Yeah, that was I forgot about that. Yeah, and you know
See,
what?
everybody
But
forgets about that, but yes, that's our first appearance.
can we just bring back Coulson, please?
That's a harder one to figure out. The fact that they brought him back or didn't really explain it well in the series. I love Coulson, but yeah, that's just how are they going to explain that?
They yeah, I don't know, man. It's like it's a really weird thing where like they he didn't need his own show. Like he could have just had, or I mean, maybe he could have had like a couple seasons, like a Daredevil or Jessica Jones style thing. But like the fact that Agents of Shield went on for 8 seasons and just completely like veered off course with Marvel lore. And I know that there was a like infighting right between not Joss Whedon, whatever his brother's name is, and the Marvel Studios, but like I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that character. I don't know if it's still tied up in legal battles or why we haven't seen him again. But dang, man, I wish that he would come back.
So where are we headed to next, my friend?
Next we have X-Men First Class.
Okay. All right. I could deal with that. Now we're moving up in the world. So,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Anything to get into better quality stuff here. Let's just hope that Real Radman doesn't steal our footage here and then spoil it for us going forward. So, yes.
Real rad man.
But I tell you what, it's been a great time. Again, if you have any questions, please let us know. Popculturecosmos at yahoo.com, or thoughts or comments. We'd love to hear from you. But before we head on out, my friend, I did want to mention something. Hopefully, we're going to be able to get done here in the coming days. I do want to give a props out there to sifted.net that covers the world of video games on a general basis. Great place to go for the latest news and information on video games. Going to give them a shout out. But they originated a fantasy league for video games. So I was thinking, this just seems fun. Yes, I am. Speaking of stealing ideas or stealing things, as Real Ramen does. At Sifted, they said, yeah, everybody steals the idea, but at least give them credit. So I'm going to give them credit. Sifted.net. I am going to go ahead and see if next week we can go ahead and do a video game fantasy league and a movie fantasy league as well. Your thoughts on that before we head on out?
Let's do it. I'm down. Make it happen.
All right. We will make it happen next week and looking forward to that. But if you have any questions or thoughts, please let us know. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. So for Josh the Great Peterson, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day right here in paradise in the pop culture cosmos. We thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.
Welcome to the Pop Culture Cosmos.